So here's a pretty fascinating story that actually kind of got swept under the rug, but I wanted to make sure to talk about it because I really genuinely find this to be a really interesting story, and it kind of gives us this insight and inside look at the Trump family, and obviously in this situation, specifically Melania Trump. Now, this got kind of swept under the rug because it came at a time of so much news. All of the COVID stuff with the Trump family was coming out. So what happened was Melania Trump, like I think one of her former strategists or aides, kind of turned on her, and so she released these tapes. And she's also working with investigators against the Trump family currently. Um, but here's a compilation of audio. She's going to talk about Christmas decorations, separations at the border, that jacket that she wore that said, "I don't care, do you," when she was doing that visit to the border, and some other stuff. So go ahead and check it out, and we're going to analyze and talk about this.
All these kids that I met, they are here in the shelters because they were brought by it through coyotes, the people, or trafficking. And God. That's why they put them in jail. And the kids that they go in shelters, and the way they take care of them, it's, they even said, the kids, they say, "Wow, I will have my own bed. I will sleep on the bed. I will have a cabinet for my clothes." It's so sad to hear it, but they didn't have that in their own countries.
Right.
They sleep on the floor. They are,
There's
are
nothing.
fed. They are taking care nicely there. But they are not with parents. It's sad. But when they come here alone or with coyotes or illegally, you need to do something.
Right.
And a lot of like moms and kids, they are taught how to do it. They go over and they say like, "Oh, we will be killed by gang member. We will be it's so dangerous." Mm-hmm. So they allow to stay here. Do you understand?
I do, and they're the ones that are the bad ones.
Yeah, and they are not. It's not true that they would. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Some of them they're using that lines that they're not professional, but they are taught by other people what to say to come over and to let them go to stay here, because they could easily stay in Mexico, but they don't want to stay in Mexico because Mexico doesn't take care of them the same as America does. They say I'm complicit. I'm the same like him. I support him. I don't say enough. I don't do enough.
No,
where I am, I'm working like my ass off.
I know.
That Christmas stuff that, who gives a about Christmas stuff and decoration, but I need to do it, right?
Yeah, but 100%. You have no choice.
And then I do it, and I say that I'm working on Christmas, planning for the Christmas, and they said, "Oh, what about the children that they were separated?" Give me a break. Where they were saying anything when Obama did that?
I know.
I cannot go. I was trying to get the kid reunited with the mom. I didn't have a chance. Needs to go through the process and through the law.
But here's my thing. Hear what you just said. But instead of that, if your messaging, you were so loved.
They would not do the story. We put it out. They would not do the story.
I'm telling you.
You would not believe it. They would not do the story because they would not do the story because they are against us, because they're liberal media. Yeah, if I go to Fox, they will do the story. I don't want to go to Fox all the time that he is only one for everything.
So
you understand?
I do. So what prompted you to want to buy that jacket?
I'm driving liberals crazy, that's for sure. And that's what, and they deserve it. You understand?
I know.
And everybody's like, "Oh my God, this is the worst, this is the worst." After, come on.
I know. And
they are crazy. Okay.
So here's what I really find to be interesting about this. I would say the reason why I find this to be most interesting is because the narrative about Melania Trump was, and used to be, that Melania Trump is a victim in this situation. She never wanted to be the first lady of the United States. She just wanted to get married to Trump, and, she could be doing her own thing, but, she gets dragged into all of this mess. That's total bullshit, okay? At least according to this, my personal opinion from my assessment is she is just as evil as Donald is, okay? And that's probably why she got married to him and probably why he married her. She's just as evil as he is. She's just as sociopathic as he is. They're almost the same person in every way, pretty much. And if you look at this picture on screen, she actually almost looks like a slightly younger, literal female Donald Trump. Almost exactly the same. Just gender swapped, obviously. But it's crazy. And so you see in that clip where she says, who gives a fuck about Christmas decorations? Which basically tells you, she probably doesn't really care about religion. But, Trump privately, it was reported that privately Trump called evangelicals hustlers. So, as you guys know, Trump kind of uses certain groups that can help him and uses it to his advantage, right? That's what he does. That's his gig. And so that's what he was doing with those evangelical voters. So what that means is she's probably, sort of indifferent on religion, just like Trump is, but is using it for political gain. Another really interesting thing there is she seems to have this weird hunger and thirst for attention and approval from the liberal media. We talk about conservative talk show hosts or YouTubers or whatever whose entire sort of ideology tends to be, quote, own the libs. That's literally Melania Trump. Like, her entire thing is about owning the libs. She was laughing there about wearing that jacket. Oh, it makes the liberals go crazy is what she's saying, which is hilarious. Very, very funny stuff. But, she says, well, I don't want to go to Fox. She has this really interesting thirst and desire for attention and approval from this, quote, liberal media. And that's another similarity to Trump. Trump, at the end of the day, is really hungry for attention, fame, eyes on him. That's what Trump is really sort of his deepest desire at the end of the day. So it's really fascinating to see that, Melania Trump is just as much of a piece of shit as Donald is. Okay, now some people may say, Donald probably brainwashed her. Now, I'm not going to 100% say that's bogus. All I'm going to say is, in my personal opinion, I don't agree with that. I think that she was the exact same way as this prior to getting with Donald, and I think she was able to get with him, and, she did it because she shares a lot of the same characteristics, sociopathic, lying, sort of gaining advantage, by lying about, religious stuff and things like that, not caring about that, really having this deep desire for attention, and approval. So it definitely seems to be the case that they're very similar. And so this kind of gives us this inside look at Melania Trump and who she really is. And this kind of changes up the narrative, at least for me, because the narrative used to be she's this victim and, oh man, she got dragged into all this mess of becoming the first lady and all this. No, she wanted this. This is who she is. She's a schemer, just like Donald is. They're literal partners in crime, essentially. They're essentially the same person, as you can tell there. So definitely some pretty fascinating stuff. I definitely want to know your thoughts on this story because, honestly, I find this to be pretty fascinating.